Iman didn't get rich from YouTube. He leveraged his personal brand to build his $100 million empire. Not through subscriber counts or ad revenue, but through a personal brand that has been right in front of you and you haven't even noticed. This video deconstructs his exact personal brand system, the strategy behind his influence, his market control, and his authority that works even when he sleeps. This is not another content economy breakdown. In this video, we have broken down exactly how Iman uses his psychological positioning, his backend systems, and his entire personal brand framework to build businesses that last. This is the Gaji code, ladies and gentlemen, and today in this video, we are going to break it. Let's begin with who exactly is he, right? What is the timeline of his operations? In 2016 and 2017, it was the beginning of his journey. He drops out of school, he starts his MMA and a social media marketing agency. And the first client, it was a gym. Yes, his first client was a gym. In 2018, he launches Grow Your Agency and begins teaching SMMA. Personal brand starts growing on YouTube. So, he starts preaching what he learned to other people. In 2019 and until 2020, he builds Educate. He builds Educate, an e-learning business. And, he becomes the SMMA guy. I'm pretty sure all of us have seen him in those faces, right? And that is where it mostly began. That is when his entire journey started as a guru on YouTube, and he was known as the SMMA guy. Millions were inspired by his journey and what exactly he does. And he was pretty rich by then. At least that is what he claims, and that is at least what is we can see through his YouTube videos from that day and age. It is indeed controversial, but again, we're not going to go with speculations here. This video is about breaking down his entire funnel. Around 2021, he starts with his Flowzy, his SaaS, right, and begins focusing on backend systems and basically softwares because he knew that the money is somewhere else, not in agencies, right? And then in 2022, he launches Digital Launchpad, introduces the YouTube Flywheel VSL, the whole model. In 2023, he shifts from SMMA only to full online business plus self-development content empire, right? His content, he just stopped from a single niche, a small niche that was SMMA, onto his entire full-on, the business empire. He enters it. And in 2024, and to this day and age, to this day, he becomes a platform ecosystem master. He launches Big Day, Iman Gaji. Now Gaji is it has been rebranded, his eyewear brand. He launches this, qualified high ticket course that is the 8-figure license. And systemized brands now worth more than $100 million. And he even is the co-owner of WAP. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is who Iman Gaji is. He has this gravitas, this pull to his name, because he has achieved something that most haven't been able to, even whilst putting in the time that he has. So moving forward, one thing has always been common: his marketing strategy. From day one, ever since he started things out, he started like you and me, cold outreach, all of that. But after that, when he had a good, immaculate understanding of the market, he knew that this stuff doesn't work. Warm traffic is the key, right? He knew it. He learned it from the very first day. That is exactly what I say. And his market strategy, there has been something similar, something common in every single one of his launches, every single one of his brands' marketing strategy. And that is that he leverages his personal brand to market every single one of his products. He launched Big Day. He launched Iman Gaji, his personal brand. He launched Gaji, his eyewear brand, right? And all of these businesses are e-commerce businesses, and he marketed all of them through his personal brand. So you need to understand that this is the versatility of a personal brand. You can market literally anything. Even if he starts like a club or whatever, he can market it through his personal brand because the personal brand is about him, right? It's not about a particular business, but about his journey as a hero. You must have heard the term the hero's journey in copywriting many times. Well, that is exactly what a personal brand replicates in a day-to-day level. Moving forward, we can definitely say, we can claim that all of his wealth exists because of his personal brand. But how? Like, how did he build this wealth through personal brand? Well, that is exactly what we break down in this video. So, first of all, before moving forward, I want you people to understand this basic, concept to move forward. And that is that there are, a lot of people out there who think that views, virality are more valuable than something that they have never even, had the privilege to have, that is, getting clients, getting paid to create content. Now I'm not talking about, AdSense or stuff like that here, but the difference that is right in front of us, that is the difference between vanity metrics and the intentional brand engineering, like Iman. So what vanity metrics are essentially, it's a surface level content strategy built on chasing views, likes, followers, virality without a clear path to monetization or client acquisition. Inten- Intentional brand engineering, it looks loud, it feels successful, but lacks back-end systems. Lead guilt feeds ego. A surface level content strategy built on chasing views, likes, followers, and virality without a clear path to monetization or client acquisition. Intentional brand engineering, or, like the opposite of it, it's totally different. Whereas vanity metrics, this entire vanity branding thing, it looks loud, it feels successful, but lacks backend systems. It leads to, feeding your ego, but not your business at the end of the day. It never fills up your pockets, right? And whereas, the intentional brand engineering that is right in front of us, Eman's empire wasn't built by chasing views. He built it by converting attention into customers, into revenue, into leveraging. The play isn't to go viral, it's to build, the play is to be deliberate. Every single piece of content he makes is a movie in a larger chess game. Now, what we see right in front of us, yes, we see those, beautiful videos from Monaco, from Dubai, from South Africa, but in reality, it goes deeper. It's a game of chess. Every single thing has been rigged into his favor. And that is exactly how he makes money. And now let's break it down. So, as I said, the most basic concept that you need to understand before beginning is that content is not about vanity metrics like views or likes and stuff like that. Someone can have, like, 3 million subscribers on YouTube, and there are like millions of YouTubers out there who, are facing this problem and they aren't making any money. And eventually their channels die, and the little money that they used to make through AdSense, even that is gone. So the framework that we follow, that I follow, that people in the business niche who are dominating the markets follow, it's creating content to generate leads. Those leads are converted into customers. Now, converting the lead into a customer, yes, that is something that you need to do. Well, that is what you're thinking, and that is exactly the reason you're not successful. Content to lead. Now, how do you convert a viewer to a lead? Well, that is exactly what we're breaking down. Converting a lead into a customer, it's all about credibility, it's all about trust and your skills. Now, I don't need to go in depth into it because you own a business, right? And even if you don't, if you're an aspiring business owner, well, then you understand this whole thing. Content builds credibility, and credibility is what sells. So you understand this particular equation right in front of us, right? Now, if you have understood this basic concept, let's move forward, right? Now, Iman Gaji's Iman Gaji doesn't build a personal brand, he builds a myth. He doesn't sell products, he sells an identity shift. Now, gentlemen and ladies, let's understand this very basic topic that I told you about, the hero's journey. Now, he's not selling, like a personal brand or a, whatever. No, he's actually like trying to trying to sell is that he is someone who came from nothing, a story, someone who came from nothing and turned that nothing into everything, from something to everything. Now, the key highlights about his, content are: number one, alpha positioning, authority from day one. Now, this might sound cringe, guys, but what it essentially means is that he is not someone whom you can think of and even imagine for a single second that he's not someone whom you can say that he's a leader, an industry leader, right? Moving forward, the high status aesthetic. You'll never see a video of his that is not shot in a premium background in a premium setting, right? Those black well lit environments, those muted B-rolls and Rolls Royce and such cars, and the stoic visuals, the amazing, amazing cinematic visuals that he has. Moving forward, the personal mythology, the entire story, the entire rapport that he has created for himself, that is, he was a school dropout turned millionaire. Now he is someone who took the path that the road less taken basically, and he converted that particular path. He led that path, and here he is. He's a millionaire. Now that is one hell of a story. You know it, I know it. We don't expect someone who goes rogue like this to be successful. No one in the society would accept it, but he pulled it off, and now he is using it as his advantage, right? And vices and the vulnerabilities. Now, this is something that is extremely important. He shows off that lifestyle where he's partying, he's doing this, he's doing that, all of that, being on yachts and riding in these luxury cars, smoking cigars like in the pictures above here. But alongside that, everyone knows that he is working hard because hard work works. Hard work speaks for itself, you know. And when we talk about vulnerability here, there's this rawness in his content. He's not shy about speaking facts, about telling his story that yes, he is the son of a single mother. He hails from Russia, this and that. He has a hard, hard childhood. He has had a hard, hard childhood. Those are the vulnerabilities that make people like us relate to him, that he's not this Grant Cardone or like Elon Musk. He is someone who was like us or like the common folk out there and turned into a millionaire, right? And most importantly, omnipresence. Now he's everywhere. You open Instagram, boom, they pop like 10 reels, some from his main account, some from the accounts that he doesn't own. Well, that is crazy, guys. Like, that is crazy, right? And I'll tell you a little secret here. Like, I'll let you in on a little secret here. That is, this is not everyone like something that everyone talks about nowadays, but these are those industry secrets that no one is talking about, that no one is telling you. But in this video, we're breaking down that as well. Something that I use, something that my colleagues, my friends, and across the entire marketing space use, and that is omnipresence. Now, you may know the meaning of this word. I even have a service that I provide for this. But he essentially, the whole clipping thing that you've heard of recently on WOP and stuff, he leverages it. He pays people hundreds of dollars to post his content organically, those theme pages that have millions written on their dashboards. He reaches out to them. His team reaches out to them. He pays them, and boom, his video is posted. There are entire theme pages dedicated to this dude. Now, imagine, why would anyone waste their time on someone whom they don't even know? Or maybe if they know, like, no one is such a fucking fanboy, right? Well, because they're being paid. There's your answer. And you can do it as well. Watch my other video on social omnipresence, and maybe I'll do it for you if you have the money, right? Moving forward, now, we have his multi-layered funnel. Now, he doesn't, he knows the whole awareness and the unawareness pyramid. If you've been in the business space for a long time now, or even a year at max, you know what a customer's journey is, a client's journey is, right? And he knows it very well. It's a basic fundamental principle of business. And he, on the basis of that, has developed a funnel. Now, it's right in front of us, right? For the top of the funnel people, the people who are already aware of everything, right? He has YouTube shorts, he has reels, and the goal is to create awareness, right? Now, so for the top of the funnel, right, the funnel begins. The audiences have started falling into the funnel. They've started knowing him. They know him. The goal is to build awareness, right? To bring in the audience, right? If you know the funnel model, what a funnel looks like, the entry is from the top. Anything that enters, the influx is from the top. So new audiences are attracted through the top, right? Top of the funnel. He does that through YouTube Shorts, through Reels, and as I've written in the bottom of the table, forbidden means, right? Third party distribution. Now, what third party distribution is, it's a combination of clipping, it's, paid promotions, all of that, a culmination of all of those things that leads to this. Now, top of the funnel is done. Awareness is built. We enter into the middle of the funnel. He uses YouTube long form and Instagram stories to build depth and trust and nurture, right? Each level of the funnel is about nurturing the audience that is there, right? And bottom of the funnel, we have email list, we have Telegram private groups, conversations. And the goal here is to convert them into clients. So you can see how well it is all laid out, that from top of the funnel to the bottom, we have, awareness being built, that who he is, what he does, blah, blah, blah. There are people who are going to buy his low ticket services. There are people who are going to buy his high ticket services. There are people who are going to, buy nothing, but watch his content. And eventually, as they start making money through his content, through learning things, through business, they know who daddy is, right? Iman Gaji, their inspiration. There are a bunch of children, I call them pussies out there. And yeah, following a random person on the internet? Nah, man. So, it's so well laid out. And as I said, the forbidden means third party distribution. He has the entire clipping model. He has, the entire, and again, this is another secret that I'm letting you in on, but he sponsors these e-commerce creators, these small creators, but not just creators, business owners, yes, who have this credibility to their name, and he sponsors them, he pays them money to, review his stuff. He launched this WOP thing recently. Well, there are 1 billion reviews of it on YouTube, and all of them are going to be positive. Some of them, yes, it's through journalism, let's call it that. Well, that's, free will. It can exist, right? But I'll tell you this one thing. Whenever you come across something that is out there in bundles, in, huge numbers, it's not a coincidence, right? It's always a planned, funded campaign. For example, we'll talk about this in another video, right? Moving forward, we have him building social proof. Now, what has essentially happened is that he has built this persona, right? He has used his secret multi-level funnel to lay out this entire, content framework for all the people that know him, the ones who don't know him. It's basically a funnel that people like you, me, and everyone, all of us, go through, and we are at the end of the day aware about who he is. If tomorrow he was to launch an offer that was actually helpful to us, we would buy it because that name, Iman Gaji, has credibility to it, right? And now it all comes down to building that social proof that yes, if I have a course on for agency owners, he does show the proof that yes, I made money through YouTube, I made money through agencies, right? So he never sells, he lets the social proof do the heavy lifting. And even if he does sell, it's extremely subtle. And as I've written, subtle flexing, something Iman has mastered, right? If you are a pussy who really who's like, no, I don't want to flex, results will speak for themselves. That's not how life works. The principle to flexing is to be extremely subtle, extremely subtle. You're reading a book and boom, there's a pile of cash falling onto you. Now this is not subtle, I know, but you get the point here, right? And he's extremely good at it. He has client interviews, agency navigator case studies, right? An entire 30-minute video on how he scaled a client. You can take a look at his, his one of his products, Digital Launchpad, its channel, right? There are a billion testimonials out there, right? And he has testimonials from celebrities, Mike Thurston, all of these people, he knows them, they know him, and it's like a, a sustainable relationship with both the parties, right? And moving forward, he has high status collaborations, you know what I'm talking about, the same thing, Mike Thurston, this, that, David Fogarty, all of these big names in the industry. It builds credibility, it builds social proof that, I am someone who makes money, I am someone who is hanging out with all these people who claim to make money as well, right? Not a brokey cannot simply get access to these people. And he has these screenshot of his bank statements, and 50,000 months that are there, and, like client messages. And if you've noticed, if you are like, the OG followers of this dude, I mean, my job is to stay aware of the industry, right? About the industry. I know what everyone is doing. That is why I'm able to make such breakdowns. That is how I hone my skills. That is why I know all of this, right? I'm not essentially a fan of his, but indeed he is someone, whom you need to say that yes, he has built something effective. And if you know that he, does these giveaways regularly, he has these YouTube videos or and these, Instagram stories where he's just writing that, DM me this, DM me that, and I'll give you $5,000, and boom, after 6 hours, he has a screenshot where he sent a person $5,000. Now, 5,000 is a huge fucking amount, man. Like this clearly, builds that social proof that yes, this dude has made money. This dude has pulled to his name. Now, moving forward, we have this entire flowchart in front of us. Now, what this flowchart is trying to convey here, why I've put this here, is that he has an entire content ecosystem built. He's not essentially dependent on one platform or on one video or like, a bunch of reels, this, that, but he has this entire ecosystem that is continuously thriving, and the beginning to it was his personal brand, right? He started off as an agency owner, this and that, and now he has this entire ecosystem, right? So if we zoom in here, now the first part of the ecosystem is that he has this community known as the Gents Croquet Club, right? And it's basically a lifestyle brand. It's, it builds it builds a brand image. It, has personal care to it, and it, helps him network. He helps it. I say at the end of the day, everything helps him make money, right? That is like a state bottom line that we need to keep in our minds. And it has a lot of market appeal, right? Someone who owns a community filled with rich people, man, that is something I want my hands on. And then, having his personal brand, his influencer brand, that is his entire source of traffic, right? As I said in the earlier, sections. So the traffic engine, it's his main traffic engine. That is what helps him build audience engagement, his social media presence, and marketing influence. And that is basically how he makes most of his money, as I proved in the second point. And a part of his ecosystem is also his IAG Media. Now, I'm pretty sure if you know him, you know that it is like an agency that he owned that has been shut down now, right? His primary source of income when he started all of this out, but he still keeps on calling it out. Like he keeps on repeating that I owned IAG Media, this and that, because it builds credibility. It shows people that yes, his story is not fake, even if it is. All the proofs are right in front of us, right? So yes, that builds credibility, that builds reputation, trustworthiness, and industry recognition. Because as I said, credibility is essentially what sells at the end of the day. It's not, that you come across a random face and you buy something because you saw that face. No, but if you see Iman's face on something, boom, it is going to sell as if it's a nuclear bomb. And at the end, we have as education products, Gaji. Well, it's not an education product. It's, well, I mean, e-commerce products, right? So like Agency Navigator, his course, right? His mentorship, his business strategy for agency owners. It was like a a 4-digit course, right? It was like something like 5K. I mean, he's making a lot of money, right? Because all of this is right in front of us. And I'm fucking jealous, man. Like, I will work hard as well. I'm working hard. Well, I'll fucking beat him one day. He has his, sunglass brand that is Gaji. And all of these are at the end of the day cash cows for profitability. And they are profitable, they are sustainable, and most importantly, they are continuously growing because of his personal brand. This is his entire content ecosystem, his entire business ecosystem laid out right in front of us, right? Now, this is something basic that, back in the day, there used to be ads on newspapers, the old billionaires, like, the old billionaires from the 90s. Well, this is the new age model of that whole thing, right? And like, as it's written right here, IAG Media for credibility, education products for allies, cash cows, and gentlemen. It's not skincare. It's I wrote it wrong, but yeah, Gents Croquet Club. It's a lifestyle brand, and boom, we have influencer brand. It's his main traffic engine. Now, moving forward, now, why does this whole thing work so damn well? Well, it's a combination of psychology, persuasion, and tribalism. Scarcity, that is limited drops, private groups, all of that, that's that privacy that he keeps on talking about. And, that tribal identity, agency navigator, Gents Croquet Club, talking about those things like monk mode and all that stuff. It builds this, relatability with the audiences that, oh my God, this dude faces the same problems as me and he has solutions for them, right? He has this entire subtle status flex that is about, him, telling how luxurious his life is, but not being loud about it, right? He's not even that crooked. And then, repetition of the core values, discipline, power, freedom, waking up early, doing this, doing that, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's crazy, and most importantly, inspiration. People aspire to be like him. Now imagine someone wants to be like you, right? Like, do you even think if you told them that I have launched this product, they wouldn't buy it? Or if you were inspired by somebody, that this person is someone I want to be like, wouldn't you buy out their products like crazy? Well, that is exactly what he's achieved here. And moving forward, how do you apply all of this into your personal brand? Well, it's right in front of us. Create your origin story, build your pyramid. YouTube, build an entire funnel here. YouTube, email, and all of it leads to your first paid offer. Now show your life's progress as well. Going to a gym, businesses, and your vices, your vulnerabilities. Not all of them, because that leads to weakness, but some of them, strategic vulnerability sharing. And the answer to this whole thing, how to apply to your brand, well, it is to build personal brand. Build a personal brand right now. Start uploading. Don't be shy of the way you look. You do this, you do that. No, none of that. And add status signals, visuals, languages, editing. We all know how amazing his editing is, right? And I mean, the goal here is to build a personal, relatable personal brand, right? That is the key to this whole thing. Now, moving forward, the last part here is that what exactly has this dude done? He has led to you know, like a renewal, to a the reinvention of the entire marketing strategy that is of billions. Cold DMs have been replaced by attraction through content, warm traffic. Resumes have been replaced by personal brands. Whenever someone wants to like really know who you are, they hop onto Instagram. You have this blue tick that means you're verified, right? You have 10,000 followers, 1 million followers. You have these videos that have so many views. How the hell can someone not trust you? How the hell doesn't someone say that this person is successful, this person is someone I can trust? And most importantly, CTA overload has been replaced by magnetic pull. There is no, him trying to sell like crazy, buy this, do this, do that. No, he just puts his offer out in the market that this is something I've built and people buy it without him even emphasizing on the fact that you need to buy it, you need to do this, you need to do that. He doesn't beg like people used to, or maybe like you do, right? But he just says, guys, I've built this and people buy it. As simple as that. Now, this in front of us, ladies and gentlemen, is the Iman Gaji code, right? It's right in front of us. I broke down the whole thing. You can do it all yourself, right? I mean, I broke it down. You learned a lot here, right? You did that, you did this, blah, 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 whatever. But at the end of the day, you spent, 30 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, into learning this whole thing. But what good is it if you aren't able to apply it, right? If you aren't able to execute this into your own personal brand? Well, that is exactly what we need to solve here. It's not about you not doing all these things, but about executing them. And that is exactly what me and my team do at Mediafy. So if you want this whole system, and this is just going to be one of the systems that is going to be applied into your personal brand that brings millions in revenue and hundreds of clients, millions of dollars worth of traffic. If you want all of this applied into your personal brand, click on the first link in the description that leads to our website. Book a meeting with us and let's find a marketing solution for you. Thank you for watching the video, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed, and subscribe to the channel. Go through it once again if you didn't understand it, and that'll be it. Thank you.